Khan, Shalom, Shalom, Israel, Shalom to the 12 tribes of Yasha Allah, giving the course all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Mashiach Yahushai. That's all praises, honor, glorification unto the Most High God, whose name alone is Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, Mashiach Yahushai, who the world refers to as Jesus Christ, and he is the Savior of the nation of Israel. Brother Yasha Allah.
Ariyah.
Khan. Again, Shabbat Shalom to the 12. It's observing it Friday, Saturday, sundown. It's Slakia, Friday, sundown, Saturday, sundown, through the spirit power, Yahweh Mashiach Yahushai. Another day of praying, another day of laboring, another day of congregating with like-minded individuals that are of the faith, man. So all praise to the Most High. So all praise to the Most High. So we'll be going into what? The book of Enoch destroyed, right? That's what we going into. Shalom, King. Right?
Shalom, King.
Come. We going into the book of Enoch destroyed. Now, I actually did do a live on this. I think maybe like a year, almost 2 years ago. But it was on the Bay Area channel. So we're gonna do it, this time on the LA channel. Right. So after this video, the objective of this video, we may have like this may be, part 1 or volume 1. We may have like another part 2 to this, kind of going diving into the documents and and whatnot. But today we're just going to focus on certain the core tenets and the core teachings of the book of Enoch, the so-called book of Enoch, and show how it's not part of the Bible at all. All right. It doesn't line up with scriptures. It doesn't line up with, right, the Bible that we know of, and the 80 books, right? Don't try to make it an 81, right? We're 82. Kind of add in Jasher, kind of add in Jubilees with it, kind of add in the book of Noah within there, right? And the gospel according to Mary, right? So, when you dive into the book of Enoch, you can't look at it as scripture, right? It's damn near like you're reading a Harry Potter book, right? That's how we take it. And you're going to understand why we take it like that once we dive into the so-called book of Enoch and just utterly just expose it through the spirit power Yahweh Shah. All right. So, you had an opening precept.
Yeah, Khan. This is Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 2. Ye shall not add unto the word which I commanded you, neither shall ye diminish aught from it, that ye may keep the commandments of the Lord your Yahweh, which I commanded you. Right. So basically, that's just going in, when our people was in the wilderness, getting these statutes, commandments, ordinances. Hey, the Lord was telling Moses to tell the people, do not add to this word nor take away. Why? Because they had many philosophies already in their head coming out of Egypt. All right, they had a slave mind. So the Lord, the wilderness when we had the law, statute, commandments, that was our constitution, man. That was our first time getting in order through the constitution of a Mashiach Yahushua, through the spirit and through Moses, which was the mediators, was the angels. You get in the book of Galatians, but this is another one I want to give. This is the book of Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 9. Be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines, for it is a good thing that the heart be established with grace, not with meats which have not profited them that have been accompanied therein. All right, so we don't want to indulge in two different, as the scripture says, strange doctrines. Right? There's many doctrines of today that we, usually approach just to show the true doctrine of Mashiach Yahushua, man. The tree of life. All right, the tree of life, man, very important. So, hey, we're going to get into the book of Enoch. Just some of the precepts, some of the cuts that are not even the cuts, just some of the doctrine that Enoch, who we know as a prophet of the Most High, who was taken after 300 years walking with the Lord, was taken up. Can you pull that out real quick? In Genesis chapter 5, he was taken up, all right, after his righteousness and obedience unto the Most High. So he's a hey, this is a mighty prophet. So this is a very popular name. All right, so you can put hey when it will be valid. It will sound valid when you put a name like that. This guy has Enoch was a very known prophet. So if you put his name on a book, you know, of course people gonna eat it up. All right. And we're gonna get more into it. Cause I know a lot of brothers they go into the book of Enoch, you know. And it's all love over here, but at the end of the day, we gotta go into all these different books, all these different documents to see what's accurate and what's not. You know what I'm saying? So I yield with
Yeah, Khan. Salakia, I just want to bring this out real quick. As a brother said, you know, he quoted Genesis chapter 5. And Salakia, I want to pull this up in the blue letter actually. Right. So I want to get the definition, like, because the brother made a mighty point, right? Everybody, because we know if it was like if it was you know, the book of Jared, right? As we see right here, the book of, you know, Methuselah, right?
you.
Or
Right.
the book of you know, uh Perez, or you know, these names are certain of our forefathers that are not as famous, not as popular amongst Israel, you know, amongst Jake and Eve today, right? If you go up to a random Jake and be like, hey, you know about Jared, they'll be like, what? Who's that? Right? But if you talk about a Enoch, they're gonna be like, yeah, what about Enoch? They're gonna start rubbing their hands, you know, like this, man. Yeah, tell me more about Enoch. What you got on Enoch, right? Is it the second edition? They found the second edition of Enoch, the second Enoch, and the third Enoch, right? You know what I mean? So it's that name that carries weight because that brother Enoch was a very, very heavy, he had a very heavy spirit, you know, even much so that he was taken up, you know, to the third heaven. But I just want to get this definition real quick of Enoch, right? Like Enoch definition, right? So it says meaning dedicated, trained, disciplined, right? Dedicated, trained, disciplined. I've also heard that his name means learned one, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
right?
Uh,
Yeah, the learned one, right? Yeah. So if that's the case, or a dedicated, trained, hey, but that's still within the realm of what? Righteousness. Because you have the wicked Enoch and you have the righteous one as well. All right.
yeah, we can get into that too as well.
Yeah, we can get into that. But yeah, Gad, you had a, I mean, Salakia, Sarek, you had a like an opening precept, whatever.
Kyle,
Uh,
and like the brothers was getting to, man. All these different books, all these different philosophies and doctrines, man. And you just got to go through the precepts, man, to get the full detail and full what's the word? Full explanation of things, right? I'm gonna get Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 16. It says, "Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate, for my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them." And so literally the Lord said, hey, read from the book of the Lord. That's first and plain. And he didn't say start, hey, let's draw conclusions from these other books. If it's not of the book of the Lord, we know that there's other books that the Lord had, we know these things, but these things are not being when you look into these different books, like the book of Enoch, these things contradict the Bible. So how come more could be a mate to it? So like this, like it says, a none should be a mate. Ain't no other book is gonna mate. The Bible don't need another offspring for it to make it make sense. So like the mighty brothers was explaining, man. We're gonna go through the precepts, go through the Enoch and see what it says and see if it lines up exactly what the Bible say out of the Lord. Con King.
right. Come, that's right. That's right. So without further ado, let's go to the esteemed book of Enoch. Right. Let's go to the esteemed book of Enoch. All right. The esteemed book of Enoch. So Actually, I do want to make a point first and foremost, right? So when we go to Enoch chapter 1, verse 1, right, it says the words of the blessing of Enoch, right? It says the words of the blessing of Enoch, wherewith he blessed the elect and righteous, who will be living in the days of tribulation when all the wicked and godless are to be removed, right? So, first of all, let's stop right there. This is the first chapter in the first verse of so-called Enoch, right? Where else in the Bible does the Most High start off like this, right?
Right, bro.
If this was really inspired by the Most High, he doesn't talk like that, man. When did he ever said the words of the blessing of Paul or the words of the blessing Yahweh, right? Wherewith he blessed the elect and righteous. When you
Right.
read, yeah, when you read the book of Enoch, it just doesn't sound like the Most High, man. It doesn't sound like Yahweh. It doesn't sound like how Paul talked or Jeremiah, Isaiah, right? It doesn't sound like the Lord because it's not of the Lord. It's written of man, right? And man is literally trying to manipulate the words and trying to use thy and thou and wherewith, you know, and all this. And they're trying to make it, seem like it's based off the like it's part of the Bible by phrasing it as so,
Yeah.
right? But that, I mean, it's a lousy attempt because again, the men of the Lord and the spirit of the Lord, when we read the book of Enoch, it just doesn't align with the spirit, right?
Yeah.
Where else does the Most High start off with the words of the blessing of Enoch, right? But yeah,
And then,
yeah, you got it.
and then, he will be more so a representative of the Old Testament rather than the New, because
Yeah,
he was before the commandments came. He was in the time of Noah, pre-Noah, because Noah came out of Malek. What's his name? Noah came out of uh Malek, I believe Malek, and then uh his father came out of Methuselah, and then Methuselah, his grandfather was Enoch. So if you look at all through the Old Testament, that's a good point you made, because really, if you want to use the words of the blessing of Enoch, the only time you hear a beginning like that is in the New Testament with Paul, Peter, and them, but they don't even describe things like that. They'll say, let's go there real quick. Let's go there real quick. They'll say stuff like, if you go to First Corinthians, let's see. So First Corinthians chapter 1, verse 1 says, Paul called to be an apostle. All right. So that's First Corinthians. Then if you go to Second Peter's, Salaki, I think it's First Peter's. Let me see. So that will be somewhat of New Testament language, but even the New Testament don't even speak like this. So that's a valid point the brother's making, because let me see. So Second Peter's, and then let me see. Could be okay. First Peter chapter 1 and 1. Peter, an apostle of Mashiach Yahushua, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, elect according to the foreknowledge of God. All right, so verse 3, blessed be the God and Father of our Lord of Mashiach Yahushua. So when the apostles start, and when they bless, they don't bless themselves, they bless Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And this is in the New Testament, but you go to Enoch, it says the words of the blessing of Enoch, wherewith he blessed the elect and righteous who will be living in the day of tribulation. when all the wicked and
Right.
godless are to be removed. See that? So that's the difference. There's nowhere, even in the New Testament, if you want to use the New Testament, that type of language is being spoken through the apostles. So I'll leave with that.
Con, con. That's right. That's right, man. Right. Sorry, you had anything on that?
Lie, King.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So, it just doesn't make sense. So we're already starting off bad. We're already starting off bad, man. Chapter 1, verse 1, and it says the words of the blessing of Enoch, right? So again, so we're going down, right? Let's go down, right? So we're gonna kind of try to go in order, right?
Yeah.
Because we got a list of like things we want to hit, again, like certain things in the book of Enoch that really just stands out, right? So, um, oh yeah, so actually before we go to chapter 3, we got to start at chapter 2. Right? So let's go to Enoch chapter 2 verse 1. It says, "Observe ye everything that takes place in the heaven, how they do not change their orbits, and the luminaries which are in the heaven, how they all rise and set in order each in its season, and transgress not against their appointed order." Right? It says, "Behold ye the earth, and give heed to the things which take place upon it." Oh, Salaki, hold on. Right? Where's this at?
So
Oh,
observe the heavens.
yeah. Actually, Salaki, it's not in chapter 2. It's actually later, right? But it in the book of Enoch, it says that the stars in the heavens are angels that transgressed. So therefore, the Most High put them there in the sky as a punishment. All right, and that's also in the book of Enoch, man. All right, but yeah, Salaki, let's go to chapter 3 then, because it's not. I thought it was in chapter 2, but I think it's later. So in chapter 3, right? This is like one of the main strongholds of the book of Enoch, right? And this is where they want to kind of tie it in into the Bible, right? Not only the book of Jude chapter 1, where it says that Enoch also prophesied. Actually, let's get that real quick. Jude chapter 1, right? Let's go to Jude
And
chapter 1.
yeah, when you get that, I want to make a point as well
Yeah,
after that.
yeah, yeah. Definitely, right? But I want to bring this out. Jude 1, right? And verse number what
And
is that?
you can let the Akim read too.
Yeah. He could read it through the spirit. Let's go to Jude 14.
God is Jude 1 and 14. And Enoch also the seventh from Adam prophesied of these, saying, Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000s of his saints
Mm-hmm.
to execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds which they have ungodly committed, and of all their hard speeches which ungodly sinners have spoken against him.
Yeah, man. You see that? So Jude, so they literally all the people that believe in Enoch, they always go to Jude chapter 1, right?
Yeah.
Verses 14 and 15 and say, hey, look, it says Enoch also prophesied. So that means that he had to have a book, right? But that's a logical fallacy. Just because Enoch prophesied something doesn't mean that he had his own book, right?
Right.
It's a lot of many prophecies that it's like it that Yahweh Shah even spoke that's not even written in the book,
Yep.
according to John chapter 21, right?
Yep.
That if the world should contain it, hey, guess what? There will be no there. It will be too much, too large of a book to even contain, right? So there's so many prophecies that's spoken orally, right? And I know the brother mentioned oral traditions. So many prophecies that speak it spoken orally that doesn't mean that Slakia, that Enoch literally had a book. It says Enoch also prophesied. He didn't say according to the book of Enoch. He didn't say that, right?
Right.
Jude literally just said Enoch prophesied this, right? So yeah, Khan. So again, that just negates out of the window. You can't use Jude 1 and 14 through 15 to prove that there is a book of Enoch, and emphatically that the book of Enoch that you have right now, you get at the library, you get online, or whatever the case may be, right? They try to add in the Jasher Jubilees and whatever the case may be, right? That book of Enoch is not scripture. You can't use this scripture, this one precept, to make a whole doctrine and fulfill your lust of trying to incorporate Enoch into the Bible, man. All right. But yeah, Khan, you got it.
Yeah, Khan. Also, on a historical level, scholars say there's only 4 fragments of the book of Enoch that was found. Now, this is so-called. This is according to uh, main modern scholars of today. Um, it's 4. So it's 4 different fragments of the book of Enoch from the Dead Sea Scrolls. So it was like 4 they found, according to certain scholars. They say that there were found certain fragments, and it was 4 of them. Now, how can you get these 4 fragments and make 3 books out of these small 3 or 4 fragments that was so-called found, right? So during and also we got to think about it. During that time, like he was going into Jude chapter what 115, or is it? Oh no, Salaki. Jude chapter 114. It says, and Enoch also, the 7th from Adam, prophesied of these saying, behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000 of his saints. Right. So another point is there wasn't no around the time of Enoch and Noah, there wasn't no writings of anything. Actually, everything was based off oral traditions. You know, everything was based off oral traditions. Hey, pull out the definition of oral.
Yeah, oral tradition.
Yeah. Yeah, everything was based off oral traditions. You know, one person tells another. Now, also with that, you know, things can also switch after you tell a certain amount of people. You know what I'm saying? Another point is, hey, if there was a book, how can there be a book of Enoch? Let's take the oral traditions out, but we're going to explain oral traditions. But if you use that Enoch literally has some documents, some scrolls, or things of that nature, right? How was that preserved? How was that preserved when there was a flood of Noah in the times of Noah?
Right.
Did Noah? There's no records of Noah, you know, picking up anything and saying, okay, let me preserve the book of Enoch. I mean, you got to make it make sense, man.
Yeah,
you have to make it make sense. There was a flood, so where the majority of the stuff during the times of Noah didn't make it on the other side, so to speak. You know, hey, how long was the flood? The flood was literally for like I think was it 100? Was it 40? Say 40 days and 40 nights. Let me get it real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, pull that out.
Yeah, you talking about the flood, right?
Yeah.
Was that Genesis 6 or 7?
Yeah. Can you read that from me out?
Yeah, Genesis 7.
Okay, yeah, Genesis 7. 7 is 11 or
7:11.
Okay, yeah.
You want me to read it or?
It's all right. Yeah, if he got it, it's all good.
It's Genesis 7 and 11. It says, in the 600th year of the Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were open, and the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights.
Right, 40 days and 40 nights. See that? So, hey, that's a long time, man. So there's no records of Noah carrying, outside of the animals, there's no records of Noah carrying any information into the ship that was passed down. Now, you would have to go out the way and say, okay, it was oral traditions. Yeah, pull up oral traditions, Baba Shah, real quick. Now you can say, okay, Noah had oral traditions, but even Noah himself spoke nothing about the book of Enoch or the oral traditions that Enoch passed down. All right.
Yep.
So yeah, oral tradition. Let me see if I can see that. You yeah, okay, it says oral traditions. It says oral is a form of human communication in which knowledge, art, ideas, and culture are received, preserved, and transmitted orally from one generation unto another. And that's perfect. That's perfect. That's what oral traditions is. A lot of Gadites, a lot of Judites, when we was in different parts of Africa, so to speak, and was West Africa, we all had oral traditions. We'll have stuff to pass down. Now they killed a lot of our elders to destroy that type of oral tradition because hey, the Bible promotes oral traditions. Let's pull that out real quick. Uh, Deuteronomy 32:8. All right, the Bible promotes oral traditions. I think it's 7 though.
Yeah.
Yes.
God, this is Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7. It says, "Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generation. Ask thy father, and he will show thee thy elders, and they will tell thee."
Right. Ask thy fathers. He says, remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. So that's going all the way back to Adam. You know what I'm saying? These are oral these can be oral traditions. So in that, is there an oral tradition that Noah carried on the ship? There's no records to that. And that's all we're saying right here. There's no records, and we know that there was no documents because they wasn't writing around the times of Noah, nor around the times of Enoch. Writing came later on, even after the Tower of Babel. I think the first writings was I think the Sumerians, I believe. Uh, Egyptians came after that, and then so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you have to deal with that. Where are these documents coming from? I yield with that.
Yeah, Conan, exactly. And when you go into to the Bible, we didn't even have the written law, right? We didn't have a written law until Moses, right? That's why Paul goes into that in second Corinthians, the third chapter, right? Second Corinthians, the third chapter, he kind of touches on that, the fact that before Moses, you know, let me just get a quick precept on that, right? This is a book of Second Corinthians, right, chapter 3. It's and verse number, right, verse number 3. It says, "For as much as you are manifestly declared to be the epistle of Hamashiach, ministered by us, written not with ink, but with the spirit of the living God, not in the tables of stone, but in fleshly tables of the heart." So just like the antediluvian world, right? They weren't dealing with necessarily writing, right? Writing and reading. Now in the book of Enoch is going to say something. I want to bring it out as we go through these cuts or through these verses
A
of
lot.
Enoch. But essentially, we weren't dealing with, you know, writing things in stone during that time. All right. Yeah, the antediluvian world. Then you had the more ancient world during the time of like, Abraham, all the way down to Jacob, all the way down to Moses. All right. But during the time of Moses, that's why in John chapter 1, it says that with Moses came the law, right? We know that the law was here before Moses in the spirit, but the law came by Moses, meaning that he established it set upon tables of stone. All right, that's the first account of literally tables of stone being implemented and being
Wow.
written. All right. Yeah, you said what?
If you can pull that up, the antediluvian world.
Oh yeah, come.
Yeah, pull that up.
Right, antediluvian world, right? So the antediluvian world means of or belonging to the time before the biblical flood, or
Right.
meaning before the flood. All right, yeah, before the flood.
And there's a lot of myths mixed with actual facts about you know uh, what was going on around that time. Um,
Yeah,
because hey, before and as we go into the Book of Enoch, that's another thing that has been talked about a lot. How these specific angels came down and gave knowledge to men. Now, some brothers that's Israelites that know the truth and use the Book of Enoch. They'll say that it was just instead of fallen angels, they say it was men. But then you have the Salaki, the majority that believe the majority believes that there were literal fallen angels. That's like the popular belief when they read the Book of Enoch. And I kind of want to put that brother out, but we can pull him out if you want later on. But zoom in on that. What is that? Yeah. So these are in the times of Noah. See now this is now here we go. So we see that they have myths, they have these different beliefs of what they think that world was. We see it on movies, we see it in different things. They also have the theories on Atlantis, the
yeah,
city of
yeah, yeah.
Atlantis. You got the
City
city of
Atlantis.
you got the city of Atlantis and all these things. So like where is that at? Now I do want to show something because there was certain things that was passed down that Noah did do and did practice. And let's look at this. This is Genesis chapter 8 and verse 20. Right? Look at this. It says, well, let me go up a little. 19. All right, 8 and 19. It says, every beast, every creepy thing, and every fowl, and whatsoever creep upon the earth after their kind went forth out of the ark. So this is a time when Noah now coming out the ark, and it's a whole new world. Let's see what he brought. Let's see what ideas he brought from the old world and brought into the new through the oral traditions. Verse 20, and Noah built an altar unto the Lord and took every clean beast and every clean fowl and offered burnt offerings unto the Lord. 21, and the Lord Yahweh smelled a sweet savior, and the Lord said in his heart, I will not again curse the earth anymore for man's sake, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite any more everything living as I have done. Now we see that sacrifices Noah knew about. Abel knew about. You know what I'm saying? You go into Genesis chapter 3, where it was prophesied. This is oral tradition. It was prophesied. Hey, give me that matter of fact. Genesis chapter 3, and I think it's 15. Well, you go to 16. No, 15, Salaki, 15. This is oral tradition right here, man. All right, this is a prophecy up until, because we know there was prophecies from Genesis all the way to the time of Yahweh Shai. Hey, Sirach, you did you give me that what was that? I think it's Luke 168. Luke 168, yeah. The water. Yeah, so Noah knew about that. So why did he not carry on the doctrine of Enoch. If he knew this, he knew sacrifice is going to please the Most High. How he knew that? That was oral tradition that was passed down from the old world coming into the new world. And the Lord didn't tell him, make me a sacrifice. He didn't say that. All right, so yeah.
John, this is St. Luke chapter 1, verse 68. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he had visited and redeemed his people. He had raised up the horn of salvation for in the house of his servant David, as he had spoken by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world begun.
Since the world begun. All right, so since the world begun, there was prophecies being foretold about the redemption of the Israelites through Mashiach Yahweh Shah, man. All right, and we can prove that. It's all in the scriptures. Genesis 3 and 15. We'll pull that out real quick. And this is twofold, because it's talking about the Israelites, but also talking about Yahweh Shah being crucified, right? Which sacrifices in the Old Testament represented Yahweh Shah being crucified as well, right? The covering of our sins, iniquity, wrath. All right, go ahead.
John, this is Genesis chapter 1 and verse 15. It reads, and I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed, and it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel.
Right, and that's going into the prophecy of us bringing the serpent down, but it's also going to it's like a penny, it's like a quarter. It's going into a twofold meaning. You know what I'm saying? It's going into Yahweh Shah being crucified. All right, his heel was bruised, but he crushed the head of the enemy, man. When he got on the cross. So in that we see sacrifices. Then Noah, Salaki, Abel, he do a sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? He do a right sacrifice, because we know that Cain did a sacrifice, but it was not accepted by the Lord because it was the wrong sacrifice. What did Abel give? Abel gave a lamb representing some things. Okay, Abel gave a lamb. So then you go all the way to the times of Noah, and Noah do exact same thing. Now, here's the point. Where's the book of Enoch in that? Coming into the new world, where's the information? Why did Noah not speak on the information of Enoch, his forefather? I yield with that.
Yeah, Con, that's right. You had something on that, sir, right?
Yeah, Con, because like the brother was saying, a lot of times, like the brother was going into, let me get this precept real quick. Go back real quick. This is Job chapter 8 and verse 8. It says, for inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of the different fathers. So like the brother was saying, hey, we always went back to our forefathers and get the knowledge of before time. Just like Noah, he always went back before we had, like the brother was going to, before we had any type of scripts or manuscripts or anything like that. Everybody know the lead up to should know what led up to it. First, like the brother was saying, everything was oral. Then what we start writing on what we call a animal skin, right? Pamperus, I think they call it. And then, like the brother was going to, then it became some type of stone, right? So, like the brother was saying, hey, Noah, he knew about sacrifice, because sacrifice has always been here from the beginning of time, right? Even like the brother, he brought out the Yahweh Shai, right? Even Adam and Eve, they did sacrifice as well, right? I'm gonna get that. This is Genesis chapter 3 and verse
God.
verse 7. I'm gonna read this. It says, and the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked going to what? Sin. They knew they was going off, right? And he says, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons, right? In verse 8 says, and they heard the voice of the Lord walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord amongst the trees of the garden. And the Lord called unto Adam and said unto him, where art thou? Right? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, who told thee that thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee, thou shouldest not eat? I'm gonna jump down to the point, right? Um, let me get to the point of, so
Yeah,
that was the whole, this is verse 22. It says, and the Lord God said, behold, the man is become as one of us to know good and evil. And no, lest he put forth his hand and take also the tree of life and eat and live forever. Therefore the Lord God sent him forth from the garden of Eden until he tilled the ground whence he was taken. So he drove out the man and placed, no, it's like that's not where I want.
it's 21. Okay.
Con 21, verse 21. He says, unto Adam also and to his wife did the Lord God make coats of skins and clothed them. So they literally ate sacrificing unto the Lord for their sins and what they put back on that righteousness of the Lord. So like the brother was going to, these things, a sacrificing, even though he knew about what he knew about the clean and unclean animals, he knew about all these things. Why? Because those was an oral tradition that we always kept as a nation of people. From a what? From a the Adamites, if you want to say, a to what, to the Hebrews, a to what, the Hebrew Israelites, and all these things is always what, an oral tradition that we always kept from a lineage. What kind you got out?
Yeah, exactly, man. So yeah, we say all of that to say that, guess what? It would be no way for Enoch to have any book during his time, since everything was oral. That's the point that the brothers is trying to make. Everything was oral during the time, right, of that generation, right? Because Enoch being the seventh from Adam, he's the seventh, essentially descendant of Adam. There will be no writing during that time, man. As we say. All right. But yeah, let's kind of speed things up for the sake of time. We have a lot of scriptures we have to touch on in the so-called alleged book of Enoch. So let's go to Enoch chapter 3, right? Verse number 1. Right. Let's go to Enoch 3 and verse 1.
Hey,
Right.
before you go there, do you got time for Carson?
Yeah. Well,
Because
we can
look, he's
pull
gonna
up.
talk about this, and then it's good to put that there, and then pop it'll flow right into it.
Well, let's all right, yeah. So we could do. Let's read this first, and then we
Okay,
can pull him up as well. Yeah.
cool.
So see what you're talking about, Garfield. All right.
Carson.
So let's go to Enoch 3 and 1. Right. It says, and it came to pass when the children of men had multiplied, that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. So this is the book of Enoch trying to emulate Genesis chapter 6 verse 1. All right.
Yes. Yep.
This is what they, trying to do. All right. It says, and the angels, the children of the heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men and beget us children. All right. And then I'm gonna just read to I'm gonna read to verse 3 and I'm skip down. And Semjaza, right? What precept is this, man? Right? Just got a random angel just pop up out of nowhere. All right. Where's Semjaza, right? In Revelation, in Genesis. Where is this guy at? But all of a sudden just pops up, right? Who was their leader, said unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. So meaning the angels sinned against the Most High by lusting after the daughters of men.
I got a
All right.
precept.
All right, yeah, con. And then Slacky, I'm gonna just read verse 7
No, you got
and
it.
9, and then yeah, we can grab the precepts.
Yep.
And all the others together, and it's naming like all these angels, right? And all the others together with them took on unto themselves wives, and each chose for himself one, and he began to go in unto them and to defile themselves with them. And they taught them charms and enchantments and the cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants, and they became pregnant, and they bare great giants whose height was 3,000 ells, who consumed all the acquisitions of men. And when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. All right, so that's a handful. But we're going to break down through the precepts how this is just utterly madness. So first, we're going to start with the angels lusting after flesh. All right. Can the angels lust, all right, after flesh? Right. Let me get this precept. Right.
And Salaki, and that's the popular belief.
Yeah.
We talking about the popular belief, what's being pushed heavy out here.
Yep. That's right. Because people literally think that an angel was lusting after women upon earth, and they just gave in to their lust. All right.
And end up getting pregnant.
And got them pregnant. Right. So what precept? Because I'm gonna go to 1 Corinthians 15. Right. So this is 1 Corinthians chapter 15, right? If a brother want to read this, 1 Corinthians 15 and verse number 46, right? I'm gonna get to the point. Yeah. 1 Corinthians 15, 46. All right. Well, actually, hold on. We start verse 39, actually. Start verse 39.
Corinthians 15, 39. All flesh is not the same, but there is one kind of other of fishes, and birds.
I think the brother breaking up. Slakia.
Yeah. You kind of choppy, kid.
Slakia, can you breaking up?
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yep.
You would have to read that over.
Hear me?
Why don't you go out and come back in, Ak? You go out and come back in. Look at what the heck is this? Allahu Akbar, Alhamdulillah. Hey, that's haram. All right, that's haram. What did Muhammad say about cussing?
Yeah.
Allah is the only way to heaven.
That's probably a Nephilim.
Yeah, that's probably a Nephilim. Yeah. All right. So see, the Muslims, they try to get an upper hand. They say, oh, they going to Enoch. Okay,
Yeah.
so I can kind of throw in my my Islam in there.
Right. Because you can squeeze almost anything up in this thing, man.
Right.
And that's why I say I want to show Bill Carson, because he's showing how you can squeeze almost any philosophy on this earth today, and he's a perfect example, man. Like, you can literally you can make up a lot of doctrines coming out of the book of Enoch, man, because it goes into a lot of what they call it, like myths and
myths, a lot of mythology,
folklores,
all that other stuff. Yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so go ahead. You can read that. Okay, come on.
Yeah, I'll just read it. It's all good. 39, it says, all flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, and another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds. So not all flesh is the same flesh. We know, according to the Bible, in order for you to impregnate a woman, you need something called a seed, right? You need to plant a seed in her. And this is not a fruit seed. It's not a apple seed, a seed from an orange. Seed of men, right? According to Romans chapter 1, verse 3, Yahweh was made of the seed of man, all right? The seed of David, meaning the literal seed of David's line, all right? So, yeah, come on. And David was a man. He was not an angel, right? David was a man. So, again, angels don't have seed like you have seed. Angels don't have to use the bathroom like you got to use the bathroom. They don't sleep. They don't eat. They don't drink nothing, right? Pursuing the Tobit chapter 12, Raphael, one of the 7 holy angels, he said, look, when you were with me, it seemed like I was eating, but I literally gave you I put you in a trance. You were seeing a vision, right? So I wasn't even eating. So angels don't eat, they don't sleep. All right. They're like robots in the third heaven that don't go off. And we're going to show that, thus saith the Most High. All right. Verse 40 says, there are also celestial bodies. Meaning what? Celestial meaning not of this world, meaning of heaven. So you have heavenly bodies and bodies terrestrial, meaning of this earth. We're in terrestrial bodies right now, but we have a celestial body up there in the third heaven. You can't come up into the third heaven in a terrestrial body. It's not possible. All right. Because your body, your flesh is defiled, right? Your flesh is defiled. You can't meet with the Most High in your fleshly body. All right. No matter how many days you work out, how good you might eat, you might just eat watermelon your whole life, right? Your body is still defiled because it's in the flesh. All right. It says, but the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. All right. And it's like a woman precept on that in the same chapter. It says, verse number 56, the sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. So you mean to tell me the angels are bound to the law the same way we're bound to the law, right? Where is the precept at where it says that the law was given to Raphael and given to all the hosts of the angels?
Right.
They don't have to keep the commandments like how we have to. The law was given to Israel, right? Did that mean that they're walking holily? You literally have the host of angels up there in the third heaven on the left-hand side and on the right-hand side. You literally have angels that do the Lord's work, that do the Lord's so-called dirty work upon the earth. Are they now going off? No, because they work for the Most High, right? So in order for them to sin, they have to be under the law, meaning that they literally have to be an Israelite, and they're not Israelites, right? They're celestial bodies that work for the Most High. They're angels. Yeah, Khan, you got it.
Yeah, Khan. I got a few precepts. Psalms 103, verse 20. Psalms 103 and verse 20. Khan, it says, bless the Lord, you his angels that excel in strength, that do his commandments, hearkening unto the voice of his word. Right. And that's on the left-hand side of angels to the right-hand side of angels. They all chase after the word of Mashiach Yahushua, man. Right. That wasn't a word that was chased in Genesis or in Enoch chapter 6 and 7, man. Right. The Lord then sent that word out and say, go and forbid this and do this and bind this up. Right. They did vows and binds in that chapter, right? That's madness. Now, also in the book of Sirach, 18 and 3, if a brother can read that.
Right, 18 and 3.
Yep.
God in Sirach chapter 18 and verse 3, it says, who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will, for he
all things obey the Lord's will, man. Angels, demons, all right, evil spirits, principalities and powers, all things obey Hamashiach Yahushua, man. All right, brother. What we think is going off, they on point. All right, we going off because we're not supposed to be on the left-hand side of things. We're supposed to be on the right-hand side of things. So we going off, but everything else is in order. Hey, the evil spirits are literally in order right now under Mashiach Yahushua, man. He sensed them out. The issues of death. All right. Was it I think it's Sirach 28. No, it's like Sirach. Give me a second. Let me put this precept up. This is Sirach 39 and verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Right? So these are spirits, man. Spirits that's created for different things, to do the will, the Lord's biddings. Yes, that's what's going on. Hey, Satan works for God, man. Why you think the book of Job, he had to go and get permission to do anything to Job? And then gonna have the nerve to tell the Most High, did you not put a hedge over him?
Right.
That sound like business talk.
Right.
That sounds like business talk, man. Did you not put a hedge over him? Y'all can't do my work because the hedge is there. Which lets you know he already tried. So, you have to look at things on a spiritual level, and a spiritual man judges all things according to, 1 Corinthians chapter 2, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead, you got it.
Oh, so like, look at verse 31 as well when it says they shall rejoice in his commandment. You know what I mean? So, I mean, the angels rejoice in the commandments of the Most High. They don't sin against the Lord. You got it.
Right. Yeah, they don't sin against the Lord. So that further destroys, that myth of angels coming down and transgressing against the word of Mashiach Yahushua. Matthews 22 and 30 says, for in the resurrection, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of Yahweh in heaven. Right? So they're not given in marriage. So that even debunks the myth and understanding of Genesis 6 of how the majority belief system of Genesis 6 is talking about. It's not talking about actual angels in Genesis 6, it's talking about men. It's talking about men. Now you got some Jakes that believe in that as well, and they kind of put a little twist to it to solidify Enoch, but it's not going nowhere, buddy. Sorry. Because at the end of the day, angels don't transgress against the Most High's commandments, man. They all in the will of the Most High according to the scriptures. Right. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, that's plain. That's plain. I got a couple precepts to the spirit. I'm gonna get the precept Yashala was getting into, because that's a precept I was holding through the spirit. Hey, just like the brother was talking about Tobit. Hey, this is Tobit chapter 12, verse 19. It says, all these days I appeared unto you, but I did neither eat nor drink, but ye did see a vision. Hey, like the brother, hey, they was, when you read the book of Tobit, hey, they was on a journey, man. And it was catching fish, and doing this, doing that, And when you go into it, Tobias, and he thought he was a man the whole time, a regular man the whole time, but all along he was an angel, right? And to show you that angels, there's no need to be eating or nor drinking, man. It's a celestial celestial being. Literally, went to it First Corinthians 15. It's literally a celestial being that does everything that the Lord acquired them to do. Right? Let me get this other precept. This is a second Ezra chapter 9 and verse 18. It says, and now when I prepared the world, which was not yet made, even for them to dwell in that now live, no man spake against me. The Lord said before even the world was even formed, nothing that's in the heavens now or in the heavens in third heaven, nobody spake against the Lord. They do exactly what the Lord do or says, right? It says, for then everyone obeyed, but now the manners of them which are created in this world that is made are corrupted by the perpetual seed and by the law of the unsatiable themselves. So, going back, like I'm saying, nobody before the Lord had formed this world. Everybody obeyed the words of the Lord. All the spirits of every spirit that's on the earth now obeyed the Lord. You couldn't get around not obeying the Lord, right? This is First Kings chapter 22 in verse 20. Get to the point. It says, and the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he
Ah,
said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail. Also go forth and do so. Now, therefore, behold, the Lord had put a lying spirit in the mouth of these prophets, a mouth of these thy prophets, and the Lord have spoken evil concerning thee. So what can we say then? Hey, the Lord is literally dealing with a lying spirit, like the brother would put out in a Sirach 18, one on down, a Sirach what you said 43 on
mhm.
down, right? A literally a Lord deals with all these spirits. That this spirit literally came to the Lord and said, hey, I'm gonna put a lying spirit on him. And the Lord said, I like that idea. Do it. And
God,
he prevailed, and then the lying spirit didn't even get the credit. The Lord got the credit.
God,
So that's how you see how all these things, obey the Lord. You can't get around it. So the Lord did not send no angels out here to start having sex with women, man. That's madness, man. That's literally, that's not even, the science ain't science, man. Can't do it, man. That's impossible. A ghost mixed with a flesh. Hey, you gonna just like you see the movies, man. Hey, the
God,
movie, the ghost gonna go right through the body, man,
right.
or possess the body. However you look at it, man. But con.
Yeah, come man. And real quick, I want to make a point what the brothers is going into. Um, you know, in order for because again, let's go back to the nasty book of Enoch, right? It says, right, they took them wives, right? First of all, again, it says they saw and they lusted after them, right? And said, let us choose us wives from among the children of men and beget us children, right? So they're looking at women and they're lusting after them. A lust is a craving or a desire. So your craving and your desire, and again, if you are flesh and blood, everybody has the desire to lust, right? You can crave whatever. Hey, you might be in a mood to get some pizza. That's your body telling you, hey, guess what? We feel like pizza today. You know what I mean? Hey, donuts, right? Krispy Kreme donuts, man, right? That you might be craving that. You may be lusting after that, right? And
Mm-hmm.
again, lust is not always, lust just means craving, desire. So you may lust after these certain things. This is your flesh doing that. That's not your spirit doing that. That's your flesh, right? Because again, we know that all craving and desires go back to what? Your brain. Do angels have a brain like you and I have a brain? Do they have blood cells, white blood cells, red blood cells? Do they have system to of it's like it to take the daughters of men? They don't have these things, man. Literally in the book of Psalms, chapter 104, it says that he maketh his angels spirits, right? He maketh his angels, Salaki, he maketh his angels ministers of flaming fire. So they're literally just on fire 24/7, man, right? So I'm gonna read this real quick. It says, at the core of every craving lies the brain's reward system, right? It is an intricate network that reinforces behaviors that enhance survival and overall well-being. This system generates feelings of pleasure for activities that have historically aided our survival, like eating and socializing. You see that? Why do you crave certain things? Is your body telling you that, not your spirit, right? How do you know it's your body and not the spirit? Well, because the spirit is not going to tell you to go ahead and lie cardinally with another man's wife. That's not the spirit telling you to do that. That's the flesh telling you to do that. That's what the Bible teaches, right? This is one thing that the spirit craves after. This is a book of Romans, chapter 8, right? And verse number, I'm gonna go to verse 20. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who has subjected the same in hope, because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of God. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. So, hey, guess what? In these bodies we groan. That's our spirit groaning to the Lord to be redeemed from this world. So your spirit craves the Lord. Your spirit craves reading, praying, fasting, and being righteous. Your flesh craves the opposite. All right. Why do you think that the desire to take upon you a husband, to take upon yourself a wife, right, or many wives, or whatever the case may be? Why do you think that we have these certain type of instincts? Is because in our flesh, the Most High programmed the flesh to be like that in order for us to procreate, right? If we didn't have that type of reward system, we wouldn't want to procreate. Therefore, the human, right, species as a whole would cease to exist, right? But because the Most High wanted us to prolong our being here, He programmed the flesh, right, to have a desire so damn powerful that guess what? You have so-called 7 billion people upon the planet now. All right. Maybe even 8 billion, 9 billion. All right. So this is madness. So to say all that, angels again, they don't have flesh. So it wouldn't be any way for them to lust after anything. They don't have flesh. All right. So yeah, come.
Yeah, yeah. And then let me get a few more precepts, and then I want you to show that brother real quick. But let me get some precepts real quick. Give me Tobit chapter 7 and 11, and then Tobit chapter 8 and 3. Yeah, so yeah, because if you just look at, if you examine this chapter and examine chapter 6, because literally it's trying to tell you the same thing, but a certain slightly a different story. All right, a certain now in the mind of those that read it, they'll say, no, well, this is, some will say, well, these angels these are actually men, and these spirits came to provoke them to have sex with different strange women, right? But it don't say that. You have to, you kind of uncertain that to say that, because it literally says what it says on here in the book of Enoch, and mentions a specific angel. Because I looked that word up, Simjaza, and there's no man named Simjaza at all. This is the only time this name is being mentioned is in the book of Enoch. You can Google it. You can find. I looked it up even in the Greek and Hebrew. I looked up Syrian as well in the Greek and Hebrew, and it's similar to each other. So some of this stuff, brothers that's trying to insert another story, it still don't fit. And hey, like Johnny Cocker said, man, if the gloves don't fit, you must call quits. All right. So look, yeah, give me that Tobit real quick.
Tobit 8.
Yeah, well, no, start at 7 and 11.
It's Tobit 7 and 11. I have given my daughter in marriage to 7 men who died that night. They came in unto her, nevertheless, for the present be married. But Tobias said, I will eat nothing here till we agree and swear one to another.
So this is a story about Tobias finding his wife, and his wife happened to have a spirit on her. She wasn't possessed by a spirit. It was a spirit that was hunting her, that every time a man tried to marry her, right, and that man had died. And unfortunately, it was 7 men that got killed. All right. So it was 7 men that got killed. Now go to 8 and 3.
Yeah, it was the spirit Asmodeus.
Right.
Tobit 8 and 3, it says, the witch smell, when the evil spirit had smelled, he fled into the utmost parts of Egypt, and the angel bound him.
So the angel, that specific angel that was on her, right? That was bind by her, or bind her with whatever he was binding her with, to where every time she tried to get married, that the man before, the man after or the man before, hey, they'll die, lay flat, right?
Yep.
So she was bound by this specific spirit. Now, let's deal with the book of Enoch in that same context, right? Though she's bound with that spirit, the brother found a way to cast that spirit off her and he went his way. That was an evil spirit. Now, we look in this context of the book of Enoch, hey, these angels had sex with the women, fornicate with the women, and came out giants, right? Two different stories.
Yep.
Two different stories, man. And then somebody, oh, nah, they ain't talking about the big giants. Well, hey, it literally gives the actual account of how tall these giants were when they came out the womb. Right now, is that metaphorically speaking? Because if it is, then why, when you get into First Samuel chapter 17, why is that not a metaphor? What we saying is it don't harmonize with the Bible. That's what we're saying. It got to harmonize with the Bible. So what I say, pull out, bro. Let me see.
Yeah, the Garfield. I got
No,
Garfield.
not that right now. It was something else. But yeah, Con.
Well,
So
Slakia.
yeah, you got it.
Yeah, because you mentioned the height,
Oh
I
yeah,
just
that's
want
what it
to
was.
mention,
That's what it was,
yeah,
Con.
yeah, I just want to show Israel like what the Book of Enoch says how tall these giants were, right?
And you can't spiritualize that, brothers,
Right.
sisters. All right. This is the real height. The Bible don't spiritualize or give a metaphor to the height of Goliath. Well, we're gonna all right, so this is the giants' height of the book of Enoch versus the giant height of the Bible. We're gonna do some comparisons real quick. All right, go ahead.
Right. So when you look up, because it says 3,000 ells, and again, that distance is never mentioned in the Bible. Ells, the Lord,
Right.
he'll use yeah,
That's a good point.
he'll use cubits, stuff like that. But he's not using L. What the hell is an L? Right? But nevertheless, it says a cubit is around 18 inches. If they were 3,000 cubits tall, that would make them 4,500 feet tall. All right. The Burj Khalifa in Dubai, the world's tallest building, last time I checked, is only 2,720 feet tall. So they would be taller than the tallest building in the planet.
Mm,
Right?
man.
Right? It's madness.
So these are the Nephilims. These are the fallen ones, the Nephilims. These are not the angels, but these are the Nephilims. This is the children of the angels.
Yeah.
All right, now man ain't got that. Now go to Goliath. So we're gonna do some comparison, man, because that's a very high statue of a man that's walking on this earth. And they actually got fossil. They got prints of these big old feet. You know,
Right.
take up a whole block.
Right. Yeah,
So
that's madness. And just to put this into perspective, right? You have for example, like Shaq, right? You got Shaq, for example, right? Shaq is a very tall guy. He's about
that's a
7
Nephilim.
it's definitely right.
That's
He's
right.
about 7 feet tall, right? You have also other basketball players taller than him, right?
Right.
So again, when if you have a man that's 7 feet tall, even let's take even a man that's 6 feet, 5, 6 foot, 5, 6, 6, 6, 7. All right, that's tall. Now we also know, according to just regular biology, when however you're born, like very tall babies, a lot of times the people that's tall or have tall genetics, when they're a baby, they're also very big as well. All right. So anybody that that has babies will understand that. Like if you have a really if there's genetics, right? Shaq, when he was a baby, was probably very big as well when he came out. So if you had, I mean, giants that were 4,000 feet tall, the scale will be according to such when they're a baby. So when they're a baby, they're probably about what, 200 feet, right? 300 feet, 400 feet tall, right? Because again, you don't just come out the womb a regular baby and then just grow to be 4,500 feet. That's madness, man. Right? What have you ever seen a premature little baby, right? About 6 inches, and then just grow to be Shaq? I bet you, hey, when the Shaqs of the world, the very tall people of the world, when they were a baby, they were very big as well, because it's according to scale. So biology cuts the book of Enoch. Hey, the scriptures cut the book of Enoch, and pure logic just cuts the book of Enoch. All right. But yeah, Salaki. Salaki, you want to go to
Hey, if I was that big, if I was that big during the times of Noah, I would have swam my butt right to Noah's ship.
right. Bring that up.
You have to swim.
Hey, I mean,
I'm about to swim. Oh,
you walking.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
You walking, all right?
Right, yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. You walking, man. You know what I'm saying? So, hey.
I mean, your hands probably as big as a, damn Atlantic Sea. You know what I mean? Hey, you just pick up, you just throw it through the boat.
Now go to Samuel, 1 Samuel 17.
Oh yeah.
And we'll see the measuring size of the Bible. And like I said, it don't line up with the measuring size of Enoch.
Yeah, that's right. This is first. Where is that at? 1 Samuel 17. What verse is that?
What
was it? Where it describes his height.
Let me get it.
Oh, yeah, right here. 17:4. Yeah, come. Yep.
Yeah, you read it up.
Oh yeah, you got it. Go.
It says, and there went out a champion out of the camp of the Philistines.
And that champion, Salaki, and that champion can line up also with like renown. That word renown, like famous, champion, right? Because the mighty ones as well. All right, you got these different sayings in the Bible about these individuals that came out. Not came out of that specific situation, but they use those terms throughout the Bible, and especially in the Old Testament. Boy, you got it, King.
God says, and there went out a champion of the camp of the Philistines named Goliath of Gath, whose height was 6 cubits in a span.
6 cubits and a span. No eels. Where's the eels at? And I'm saying, like, even the words are different. Eels. There's no eels in the Bible when it defines, when it does measurements. So this is a different, that's a different tongue being spoken. Eels.
Right.
You got it.
Eels. Hey, Salaki, NLT says, then Goliath, a Philistine champion from Gath, came out with the Philistine ranks to face the forces of Israel. He was over 9 feet tall.
9 feet tall. There you go, right there.
So, tallest man in the world is 8 feet. Oh wait, no. Ever.
Yeah, 8 feet. I think that's what it said.
Yeah, it's like
8'11".
8'11", right? So he's like the modern day Goliath, man.
Right.
He's like the
and
modern
day. They don't last too long either. You that too?
Right.
They die quick, man.
Yeah.
Man, look at that though. That is huge though. And
right.
they all be real lanky and skinny too.
Yeah. Because I mean, even when you 8 feet tall, you know, I mean, or damn, they're 8 feet tall. I mean, your body just can't sustain that, man. It's
Right,
very
right,
hard to sustain. You
right.
know, very hard to. They'd be having canes. Look, he has literally has to have a cane to walk around. All
Yeah.
right, you know.
Yeah, that's why a lot of so-called tall people they be having bad knees,
Yeah, yeah, right, right.
bad feet. Period. You know, it's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
weight on their feet, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, because
That's
the
right.
dude he could look skinny, but that brother probably man 800 pounds, man. You know,
Right,
you know.
right.
I
That's true.
mean, you
Yeah,
know, so it's like the more tall he is, the more pounds he got. You know, his feet can't really sustain that. You know,
right.
and that's why a lot of so-called tall people, even regular tall people that we know, like NBA players, like what's his name? Damn, what's his name? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, bro. They gotta wear a cane, man. You see how he walk?
Mhm.
He all skinny like the brother was skinny. He all skinny, tall.
Kitty, man.
You
Thank
know,
you.
Right.
I got
Yeah,
like,
that was a lot.
okay, you got it.
No, I was saying like Goliath wasn't like that, man. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
Goliath, he was
Hey,
like we said, he was a warrior, so you can imagine what he looked like.
yeah, that's different.
You know what I'm saying? That's a different spirit, man.
I like
You know. And so uh we can move on to that. I wanna touch on
I got a couple presets. I
oh
can
yeah, you got it, King.
kind of yeah. Before brothers move on, like the brothers was saying, hey, just because these giants, it's all could be like it could all be could refer to the stature of men, famous men, like the brother was going to. Right. I'm gonna get this preset real quick. Get this other preset. Make the point. This is Baruch chapter 3. Um, this Baruch
Yeah.
chapter 3 in verse 26 to the point. It says, "There were the giants, famous from the beginning, and that were of great stature and so expert at war." You know, like the brother was saying, hey, that term of being a giant, just or being that, it could be referred to a the man was just at a high stature at the time. That man was just a renowned man, or
Mm-hmm.
that man was just a well-known established man. He was a giant. Like they say that about these so-called celebrities, man. And he's a giant, man. You know?
Yeah, that's a renowned man.
Yeah. They say these about like they said about a lot of people, man. Who name it? Michael Jackson, hey, Elvis. They said
Right.
about these small men, 5'11, 5'9, 5'3 men. They was a giant, man. But
Right.
not literally as stature. I mean, as of course, but just as who they were, famous, renowned. You know, right? Let me get this other preset. This is
Mhm.
a Numbers chapter 13. Number Numbers chapter. See, hey, we kind of see some of these brothers. Remember one time at the lake, man? They
Oh
was
yeah.
like like some giraffes, man. Brothers is looking up like, man, what's going on?
Like,
Right.
and this is a good point. Zoom in on that. Now look how tall. Now this is a Hamite. This is a
Man,
Hamite, and you know there was Hamite. There was Hamites that were that tall. They I forgot what was the specific race of giants.
Talking about the sons of Enoch.
Enoch, the sons of Enoch, man.
spirit.
All right, and these were Hamites. These were
Yep.
Hamites, very tall Hamites, man. So imagine looking at a whole race of them, and you coming into the promised land. You know what I'm saying? You coming to this promised land. You know, if you ain't got no faith, you can be like, man, I don't know about this. And
Yeah,
that's what our people did, man.
that's right. Yeah.
All right, you got it, Sarah.
God, that's just the spirit, man. How the spirit moves to the spirit. Because hey, this is Numbers chapter 13, verse 32. It says, "And they brought up the evil report of the land which they had searched unto the children of Israel, saying, The land through which were have gone to search it is a land that is eaten up in the inhabitants thereof, and all the people that we saw in it are men of great stature, and they were saw the giants, the sons of Anak, which came of the giants, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight. You know, so
You
that's
know,
what
yeah, man.
it was. Tall men, man, just tall men. And we look little, man, compared to them. It's just what it is. It's not a brother is. Man, who
Yeah,
knows what they thinking, man? He to
man.
the sky, like what they call it, uh, um, Jack and the Beanstalk, man, the giant slayer,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
man. The
Right.
dude, he climbed up on the beanstalk and he
Yeah.
giant, man. Like, come on now.
And that was also a hyperbole scripture as well. Uh, when it says we was like grasshoppers. Our people they like to over exaggerate.
Yeah,
They over exaggerate. They probably, like I said, they'll see something and it'd be like, oh man, we can't do that. Man, we look like grasshoppers compared to them. Like,
yeah,
that's Jake. Jake very,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? He's very exaggerating, man. He
man.
can he can turn he can turn the story into a man. You know,
Hey, you,
hey, back in the day, man, brothers used to come run from cops and they'll make it to the city and they have a whole story. It sounded like they was Rambo, man. You know what I'm saying? It sounded like they was just on some straight. And he found out he just ran from the damn cops. But in his head, he felt like he did way more than just running from the cops. And that's Jake, man. Jake got that mind, that spirit, man. He over exaggerates. So when our people said, man, hey, we're like grasshoppers compared to these men, that was an exaggerated claim, statement.
Right.
Hey, you see
Hey,
the
hey,
book, huh?
but yeah,
Hey, you see the book Enoch. You see what brothers got to do with the book Enoch, man. Exaggerators, man.
exaggerate. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The L's.
And if I'm not mistaken, these so-called Sudan people, man, if I'm not mistaken, I think they go back to the original Philistines, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
We go into that history.
Right. Yeah, no, I can't.
Yeah, that'd be mighty to look at too.
Yeah.
I'd better to go into all histories, man. So,
Lock
you got
it.
anything? You got anything else, Sir?
Count on, y'all brothers got it.
All right.
It's like I want to make a point though.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Just real quick. Like when you look at Israel, for most part, Israel is not this tall. All right. We're not the average Israelite is not 7 feet tall, man. All right. We're not 8 feet tall. And it shows you that we kind of relatively stayed around, the same height because, when we look at, we know that everything back then in ancient world was bigger, you know what I mean? And, stronger, our bodies were stronger. We might've been a little bit taller. Right.
Yep.
But for the most part, yeah, we were of a good height. Like, even like, hey, look, anything of too much of anything's bad. So you get, because again, like, a lot of women say, yeah, yeah, he needs to be 6 foot, right? 6 foot, 6 figures, right? And that's the talk of the world right now, right? By these women, right? But again, is a woman going to take an 8 foot tall guy? No, right? For the most part, 8 foot is just too. It's just too much. It's just too tall, right? So they're always looking for that middle, right? Tall but not too tall, right? And that's for the most part, our people, man. We're of a good height. We look at these Africans right here, these Hamites. They're just way too tall, man. It looks uncomely, right? It looks very uncomely, kind of like Slender Man, like skeletons walking around. You know what I mean? Just tall skeletons. That's uncomely, right? Where you might have a whole nation of midgets, right?
Right.
So again, Israel is of that good height, the good strength, the good looks, the good skin tone, whatever the case may be, right? That's Israel. All right, but yeah, yeah, we can go to Garfield though.
Yeah, go to Garfield, and then we're gonna move on to the Enoch 1:05:12.
Yeah, definitely.
And then put those the true skins and all that. Yeah, so this guy, he's very famous. Everybody's kind of dealing with him right now. You know, he's the great oracle. All right, you know, and he speaks on Enoch in the way that Enoch is being read, and you know, I mean, this dude, he's I'm not sure where he kind of popped up out of nowhere. You know, there's a lot of individuals doing that in these last days. It's pop up. Let me put a precept out real quick. Yeah, this First John chapter 4 and verse 1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of Yahweh, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Right, and we see that, man. You got brothers, you got individuals like him come out of the wind and got a whole setup of different various of doctrines all in his head, man. And if you look at this brother, like we call him Garfield, because if you know who the character Garfield was, he has those specific eyes. Now, if a man has those specific eyes like that, you know, it's like it's a spirit, man. Especially him. He got a spirit on this dude, man. Some of my relatives in the world, man, they big on this guy right here. So we're gonna play him real quick and see what he got to say, and then we're gonna kind of chop that up. You got it.
Garfield, yeah, glutton.
Nah, he got the Garfield on.
Oh, him. Okay, I seen him before.
Yeah. Everybody know this cat.
He don't be going with
powerful man.
Yeah, he got those Garfield eyes.
Yet his book is not in the Bible. It was left out by accident on purpose. And the reason why is because he's talking about, and he calls these beings by their names, beings that were not from earth, that came here from up above and engaged mankind. They taught us how to build weapons. They taught us about perfume and makeup. They taught us how to make jewelry and beer and all this other crazy stuff, right? So these beings were physical.
It's like, you know, they got to add the music to it.
Yeah, you got to. That's how they get you.
He said he ain't left it out of the book on purpose or accident.
Yeah. They gonna laugh like it's a for sure thing.
Brother.
Right.
Corporeal beings. The book of Enoch, powerful. You know that Enoch was a real powerful man because he's talked about in the Bible. Yet his book is not in the Bible.
Wait, so what?
This dude right here, man. This guy, I'll tell you, man. This guy, he goes on one.
Wait. It's a lot of brothers that's spoken about in the Bible that don't got a book. What are you talking about? It don't make sense.
That's very lousy, boy. They
There's
did
a lot
a
of
laugh.
prominent men that don't got a book.
Right.
That just don't got a book. It's a people just think it was the 12 disciples.
Right.
Just them. Man, it was a lot of disciples, man. Why they don't have a book?
Yeah.
All right. Why they don't have a book, man? Why the prophets that was hiding from Jezebel in the cave? Where they book at, man? You know. So I just want to touch on. Let's go to Genesis chapter 4 real quick, because I hate this. They make it seem like, all right, these angels came, and all of a sudden now knowledge came here. Knowledge been here, man. Knowledge been here. The matter of fact, knowledge was even stronger at that time. You know, knowledge was strong. We wasn't on no what they call it, the prehistoric era, age, ice age. That's madness, man. That all come from Esau, man. All right, all comes from Esau. Now, if you look at Genesis 4, you can see these men. Now, this is, you got Cain seed, and then you got the Adamites. Well, you know, Cain, he still came from Adam, but there was bloodlines going on around the time of Genesis chapter 4 and 5, man. Genealogies, bloodlines. Look at this. Genesis 5 and 1. This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that God created man in the likeness of Yahweh, he made him. All right, so this is the genealogy about bloodlines. You had a wicked bloodline and you had a righteous bloodline. All right, you had a wicked Enoch and you had a righteous Enoch. All right, you had a wicked Lamech, you had a righteous Lamech. So we're gonna show you that nobody was even at this time, and this is Genesis 4. This is before Genesis 6. If we use the same theory that they love to use, that the angels came down and gave knowledge to the people, like the Akim he just read, what was that? Enoch 7 and 6. Yeah, Enoch chapter 7. Yeah, chapter 7 and 2 says, and they taught them charms, enchantments, and the cutting of roots, and made them herbs. All right. Then it goes into weaponry. It says, and Azazel taught man to make swords. So before Azazel came, nobody knew how to make a sword. All right. Nobody knew how to make knives, shields, breastplates, and made known to them the metals of the earth and the art of working them. All right. So we're going to touch on this because we're going to deal with before this theory of Genesis, we call it the Genesis 6 theory. All right, that they gave knowledge to man as though as man had no knowledge. So we're gonna touch on a few things. This is Genesis chapter 4. Sarak, you can hit this. Well, start at 16. Well, you can go up 15 and then 16.
This is Genesis chapter 4 and verse verse 16, and it says, and Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. And he builded a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch.
After the name of his son Enoch. So there was a city being already built, man. There was already a city being built. Where's this knowledge coming from? All right, that's why I said this stuff. A lot of stuff that with this Genesis 6 theory, it don't make no sense. As though man didn't know nothing until the angels came. If you use the same theory of the book of Enoch, all right. So they taught man swords and weaponry. Let's deal with that. Go to Genesis 4 and
22.
Yeah, come.
This is Genesis chapter 4 and verse 20. It says, and Adar bare Jabal, and he was the father of such as dwelled in tents, and of such as have cattle. And his brother name was Jabal. He was the father of such as handled the harp and organ.
So all music was already on the earth at this time. The harp, the organ, the harp. All right. Instruments. Go ahead.
And not even instrument, even the cattle too.
Cattle
dealing with agriculture. That was already
right.
As you see, right. Verse 22. It says, and Zillah, she also bare Tubal Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal Cain was Naamah.
Every artificial in brass and iron. Now, according to Enoch chapter 8, verse 1, it says, and Azazel taught man to make swords. Hold up. So you mean to tell me nobody knew how to make swords, knives, artillery weapons, but until the angel came and taught them. And Azazel taught man to make swords and knives and shields. Read that again, Art.
In Zillah, she also bare Tubal Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and in iron. And the sister of Tubal Cain was Naamah.
Now look up that word artificial.
Artificer says a skilled craftsman or inventor.
Inventor. So we had inventors way before the angels came, so-called angels.
Yep.
All right, if we use the same theory of the book of Enoch.
Mm-hmm.
A skilled worker or craftsman, right? That's the man that's built swords, knives, different things. And what is Cain's? Hey, look up Cain's name.
Yeah.
Because it's like because I was looking like for dagger. I don't know if it's anything.
Possession. This says possession.
Okay.
We can see what the Google says.
Yeah, because it says dagger on one. I'm like, wow. We can find that.
Dagger.
Like the root of Cain or something. But
Um,
yeah, man, you know, at the end of the day, these men were skilled men. All right. Whether it was Cain's bloodline or whether it was Adam's bloodline or coming through Seth as a replacement of Abel, you know. Yeah, go ahead and read that.
Yeah, it says meaning acquired craftsman, spearer, or AKA, as his brother said, dagger, like dagger man.
Hey, man, because that stone he had was probably a sharp stone to the point of a dagger, man. Or even if it was a stone, he could have just made a straight dagger. You know, and they just stab Abel to death. First murder on the earth. All right, the first murder. Who was the first murderer on the earth? So when you look at, was it John 8:44? You know, the first murder on the earth. You know, but when you look at all these different men, especially with Cain, all these men had specific. They kind of like, it's kind of like Esau, man. Esau is a material guy, because when you go on Genesis 5, hey, these are all spiritual men. You know, look at it. It says Enoch walked with God. See, these spiritual men right here in the genealogy of Adam. You know, let me see another one. It says Salaki. It's another spiritual thing. Genesis 5:29, and he called his name Noah, saying, "This same shall comfort us concerning our work and toil of our hands, because of the ground which the Lord has cursed." So, I mean, we see in a bloodline of spiritual men, right? Enoch walked with God and was not. Verse 24, right? It's spiritual men. And then also when you look on Genesis 4, these are carnal men, but yet you still see the intelligence of these men. I'm just showing the intelligence of these men, but these are two different bloodlines, so to speak. There's another one I wanted, Salaki. Oh yeah, right here. It says give me Genesis 24 and 26.
Hey, quick precept.
Yeah.
Got it.
Actually 25. So if you get that, so 25 and 26. This will show you right here. So you have the carnal man of intelligence, man of skill of arts, skill of music, skill of cattle, skill of this physical things, and then it shifts to spiritual men. All right, go ahead.
It's Genesis 25 and 26. And after that came his brother out in his hands.
Start at 25 and 26.
25. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. And they called
Genesis Salagi, Genesis chapter 4, 25 and 26. Salagi out.
God, this is Genesis chapter 4, verse 25. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. For God said, she had appointed me another seed instead of Abel.
So he's a replacement of Abel, a spiritual man. Now look how everything starts to shift. Because look, Before that, look what Cain say, or Cain's son says in 24. Read 24. Yeah.
If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and 70-fold.
Right, because he just killed the man. Go to 23.
And Lamech said unto his wives, Adal and Zillah, hear me, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt.
So you see all these men of intelligence, but yet there was murder in his bloodline. Now we go to Seth blood, we go to Adam bloodline through Seth. Things start to change up. Go ahead and read that.
This is Genesis 4:25. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. For God said, she have appointed in me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enoch. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord.
Then began man to call upon the name of the Lord. Soon as Seth and his bloodline starts to enter into this earth, man. Things start to shift. So it just shows you the difference between these men. But nevertheless, according to the book of Enoch, they were taught in Genesis 6 how weaponry, artillery weapon, makeup, and all of these things when these men already had such a thing. They had cities already. So what are you talking about? Boom. I yield on that.
Man, they had cities.
Right.
Cities.
Yeah, everything.
That's right.
Makeup. Crazy.
Yeah, some on that, Sirach.
Okay, and I got Sirach chapter. I selected second Ezra chapter 6, verse 1. It says, and he said unto me in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the wood stood, and ever the winds blew, before it thundered and lightened, or ever the foundations of paradise were laid, before the fair flowers were seen, or ever the movable powers were established, before the innumerable multitude of angels were gathered together, or ever the heights of the air were lifted up, before the measures of the firmament were named, or ever the chimneys of Zion were hot, and ere the present years were sought out, or ever the adventures of them that now sin were turned, before they were sealed, they gathered faith for a treasure. Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they were by ended, and by none other. Then answered I said, what shall be the part asunder of times? Or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of the that followeth? Right? So basically, going to what the brothers are saying, the wisdom always been here from the beginning. All Lord already had the foundations of everything that's set up. He always had the flowers in his set. He had everything already laid out before he even put forth his hand upon earth. Right? Let me get this other precept. Right? Right. Right. Let me get this Sirach chapter 1. And the one I want. This is Sirach chapter 1 and verse 4. It says, wisdom have been created before all things, and the understanding of prudence from everlasting. Right? So that's plain. Wisdom always been here before everything was formed, even the angels, man. Wisdom always been here from the beginning, man. It says so, like the brother was going to, ain't no way in hell that the Most High placed men, women on earth, they didn't have no type of wisdom and understanding. Because what is wisdom, knowledge, and understanding? That's keeping the commandments, right? And all these other things gonna follow, right? Right? It says, verse 5, it says, the word of the God Most High is the fountain of wisdom, and her ways are everlasting commandments. To whom he have root of wisdom been revealed, or who have known her wise counsels, right? So, just plain, right? wisdom always been here from the foundation of the earth, always dwelt upon the land, and from the beginning, before Genesis 6, before that, because that's where Enoch is. That's where the book of Enoch is coming from, right? It's Genesis. So it's like you can't say that wisdom wasn't here and the angels was teaching them when wisdom was passed down from Adam, and and so forth, so forth. So it's plain.
Yep, spiritual wisdom and natural wisdom, man. Mm-hmm. You got something, Yashua?
Yeah, I got Ecclesiastes 7.
Yep. And then I want to go to that Enoch 105. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's Ecclesiastes 7, verse 29. It says, "Lo, this only have I found, that God had made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions." So Solomon, who is Yahweh Shah through the regeneration, said that the Most High made man to be upright, but they have sought out many inventions. So it wasn't no angel that came down and was like, "Hey, look at this," you know what I mean, and taught us how to be wicked, right? Taught men how to do that, taught men how to be wicked, and but hey, you could fornicate. It's like, fornicate, what's that, right? Fornication. That's one of my favorite things to do, right?
Right.
Yeah. Like kind of ha. You know what I mean? Hey,
Show,
you said what?
I said like that.
Yeah. Right.
Man.
So, hey, the book of Enoch's paint a narrative that the angels came down. Was like, hey man, hey homie, look, I'm gonna teach you how to roll up, right? Hey, guess what? The angels is not teaching nobody to roll up, man. All right. Yeah, you gotta do like that. Kind of get the what is the damn, what's that one brand? Damn, with the dude was like zip, start with a Z, right?
Oh, zigzags.
Zigzags, right? Kind of got the zigzags, right? Rolled it up. Yeah, so that's how you do it, bro. Right? Gotta put it in there like this, right? Roll it up. Yeah, you smoke
crazy, bro.
that. Hey, guess what, man? The angels were not teaching man how to be wicked, man.
Right.
The Lord said they had sought out many inventions. So man, it was man kind of seeking and doing things like, all right, what if we do it like this, right? Now the thought, of course, like they were influenced by Satan to do certain things, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't an angel that literally came down and showed them the way, showed them how to do it. No, it was them kind of being sitting around and damn Satan playing in their mind and being like, you know what? Why don't we just try this? That try spirit. Yeah, just try it out. You only live once, right? Why don't we do this? Instead of eating it, why don't we kind of light fire to it, right? And kind of inhale it. So that's how these things happened. All right. So again, it says, but they have sought out many inventions. It didn't say, Solomon didn't say, but yeah, the angel, what's his name? Say it again. Azazel, and this angel and that angel came down and taught men these inventions. No, that's not what he said. All right. So that's a contradiction.
Yeah. And then even this right here in Enoch 108, verse 1. In the book of Enoch 108 and 1. The good old knock. All right. It says another book which Enoch wrote for his son Methuselah and for those who will come after him and keep the law in the last days. Now you want to refer to the law. Now here's the thing. Where are the laws at in the book of Enoch, since you mentioned it?
Right.
Where's the laws at? How we know what from transgression and I mean, I see transgression all over here. Iniquity, I see transgression right here. Says, and I saw written on them that generation upon generation shall transgress until a generation of righteous arises. So what is transgression? Like you're not giving us this kind of like the laws of Ma'at. You know, they tell you that you're sinning if you break the laws of Ma'at. But what is sin? Like what he said, okay, you breaking all these. But what is there? There's no breakdown of what laws you're breaking. Like what specific laws I'm breaking in this so I'll know what not to do and what to do. But there's no specific laws in the book of Enoch at all.
No.
Okay, thou shalt. Why don't you give us some thous? Where the thous at? Thou shalt not. Thou shalt not.
Right.
Or maybe because the law wasn't there yet.
Mm.
Is that what it is? So what is he talking about? So that's another insertion in something that they just inserted. Now let's go to Enoch. Yeah, go. You got it.
It's like just a quick point on that. So even again, because you have certain Christians that believe Book of Enoch. So again, if you're in Christianity and you believe in the Book of Enoch, yes, you still got to keep the law. All right. So the Book of Enoch, that's a cut. Even in the nasty Book of Enoch,
right,
you got to keep the law. All right. So, but yeah, come on. Like,
God, hey, it's a two-edged sword that is gonna cut you regardless, whether it's false or not.
Right.
Prices, man.
Well, you know what they say. Hey, you gotta have you gotta have truth and some lies.
Right.
Like,
the truth is the hook. That's the hook, man.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like when the serpent, you know, told Eve, like, look, surely you won't die.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, she really didn't die the moment that happened.
Right.
You know? So he gave her a half truth. You know what I'm saying? So let's go to unless brothers got anything else, let's go to Enoch 105 and verse 12. And we kind of cut it short on this one because it's gonna be a little breakdown. I want to put out those pictures because now all the Edom, all the Esau is not the white man haters, or Esau's the white man haters. All right, I know there's a lot of y'all hate the doctrine of Esau and your zaddy. We understand that.
Right.
But look, I said this earlier, I said this before in another video. If you put, because most of them say it's the Arabs. All right. If you put Esau, just that image and that figure in the middle, and put the so-called white man on one side and the Arab on the other, and if the Most High determined who's more lawful, who will be more lawful between these two men? Because we know in the Bible, Esau is the greatest enemy that God has. He's the border of wickedness. He's many other things. Now, and it also says Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning that follows. Hey, the Arab's not running this thing, man. I would say he's second, but he's not running this earth. He's not the border of wickedness at all.
Right.
He's more lawful. You go to Turkey right now or any of those areas, hey, they're not eating pig. They're literally, even when you see like some of the gummy bears, like when I do eat gummy bears, I get the turkey ones because the turkey ones, they got beef instead of pork. You know what I'm saying? What else? It's many things that the Arabs in the Arab world don't do that's lawful, that's more lawful than what Esau do. Esau said, hey, there is no laws no more, man. It's only grace. You know, Esau got, Alexander, homosexuality was heavy, from Greek to Rome on down to America and the wicked West. You know, these are lawful. These are, you got the man of sin, you got the man of sin, and the lawless one, and then you got the Arabs, who's more lawful. If the kingdom was already set up, it'll be more of a hassle for Esau to adjust to the kingdom of heaven in slavery and all that than the Arabs, because the Arabs, hey, they got more lawful stuff that they do just naturally. So out of it just don't make sense. The Arabs didn't kill. The Arabs did not send a atom bomb, an atomic bomb, to drop on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. All right, so I'm not promoting the Arabs at all. I'm just showing y'all that y'all desire to try to turn the law, they, as though we just made some stuff up. Oh, you know, Esau's a white man. We just gonna put him. We just gonna stick him to the wall and hope it sticks. That's not the case, man. We got artifacts, history. You know, there's many things to prove that this man is out. And then the ones that say the Edomites have already been erased. Well, all right, show me in history. Give me some documents where the Edomite kingdom was fully destroyed and their race. You have to prove that, man. So, anyways, to cut back, there was a point I was trying to make. Oh yeah, so the Esau thing is, we say the so-called white man by way of history and many other things, and because of that, now you got a lot of people that say, oh no, the white man is from Europe. He's from the seed of Japhet. All right, so I want to prove something real quick. But yeah, put that out, that Enoch 105 and 12.
105 and 12.
Yeah.
This just goes to 3.
Oh, okay. So let me read it then.
Yeah.
It's probably the other book. All right, this is the book of Enoch. I'm trying to do it in the form of reading the Bible. This is the book of Enoch, chapter 105 and verse 12. I can't do it. I says, and now my father, hear me unto Lamech, my son, there has been born a son like of whom there is none. So there was a son, which the son of Lamech is just being born right now. And his nature is not like man's nature. So, which is Noah. He's saying Noah's nature is not like man's nature. And the color of his body is whiter than snow and redder than the bloom of a rose. And the hair of his head is whiter than white wool. And his eyes are like the rays of the sun. And he opened his eyes, and thereupon light up the whole house. So, according to the book of Enoch, man, Noah's a so-called either white man or albino, right? That's all. He's an albino, man.
Right. Yeah.
So, hey, that's all, man. Now, they'll read that and they'll have no problem saying, oh, yeah, he was albino. Well, why can't we say that when we talk about Esau he come out red all over like a hairy garment?
Right.
So you can use this, but we can't use that in Genesis chapter. Now you can bring that precept out, Sirach. You can bring that out.
John, what precept selecting?
Genesis 25. Esau come out. Yeah. You don't have a problem with this saying he's albino in the description that this is bringing out, but you got a problem when we mention Esau.
John, this is Genesis chapter 25 and verse 25, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of the Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob.
Look at that. It didn't even mention what Jacob looked like. So obviously there was something going on with Esau. Because they just say, oh, yeah, Jake came out, was like, yeah, he looked like one of us. But whatever this man looked like, he had a distinction between his brother and him. And the people knew that. Jake Isaac knew that. So that's the difference, man. So if you can say this, then we can say that. And we're gonna say that, man. But anyways, let's go to that jargon, because I want to pull out how so-called white man is not the European. He's not the original European. And if you want to even do that, hey, there's been multiple migrations. Nobody is in their actual land today, man. There has been multiple migrations over and over again. I'll show you one of the first migrations is in Genesis chapter.
Man, bro, I'm just looking at.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Salakia. It's a video, huh?
What?
The video he sent me. Is it a video? Or is it a picture?
Oh, no. Don't go to that. It's the pictures. I send you pictures. Don't do that. Like, who the hell is that? Sound familiar. But in Genesis chapter 11, verse 1 says, the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. So, that's not the first one, but that's one of a major migration. There was always migrations on the earth. People ain't never stayed in the sections that the Most High set them up to stay in, because there's wars, different warfares, right? Now, everybody want to say that that Esau's the European, or not Esau, but so-called white man is the European. Well, look at this guy, man. This is an old artifact, man. This is a Minoan, or is it a Truscan?
It says Truscan.
Yeah, so this is a Truscan. Now, if you look at this man, hey, this man look like a Samoan, man. Pull up an old Samoan man.
Like an old Samoan.
You know what I'm saying? So, there everybody that you had Japhet, you had Ham, and you had Shem. All these were colored people, so to speak. These are different shades of brown. There wasn't no white at that time. I'm sorry to bust your bubble. That's why they probably try to insert that Noah was white. Yeah, Noah was white man. Yeah. No, Noah was not no white man. Noah and his sons were all different shades of brown, as well as get like one of them fat, bearded. I don't know if you, because I know what I didn't see one before.
Yeah,
old Samoan, heavy set Samoan.
Well, they barely have beards though. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, I see there's one I actually seen. I'm like, wow. So when I seen that, but we can just look at some of these. But these are the original. Some of these cats. These are the original. People of that area, man. They didn't just stay in the islands of Hawaii. All right. Why? Because there was warfares. Like I said, there was warfares and there was migrations. Yeah. Yep. So go back to the Truscans. All right. So look at this map, man. And this was found in Europe. These are part of Japheth's seed. The Minoans, the Truscans. the Manoans, and these different people that we look in Genesis chapter 10. But this is the side of Sarai, you did give me Genesis chapter 10, starting at 2 on down to 5. The water.
It's Genesis chapter 10, verse 2. It says, the son of Japheth, Gomer, Magog, Madea, and Javan, Tubal, Meshach, and Tiras. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Rephath, and Togarmah. And the sons of Javan, Elishah, and Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, every one after his tongue, after their families, in their nations.
After their family and the nation. So, now according to Enoch, Noah was a either a white man or albino, and all his sons was different shades. So this is a lot of stuff that just don't make sense, man. It just bring that out too. Bring all those little artifacts I put out. All right, so these another one. Is that the same? Is that Truskins?
It says Truskin.
Okay, Truskins as well, right? Rome. Yep. First Europeans, kind of blast that up. Yeah, and they came with that recent copy of the first British man, and these Edomite scientists that came out with that. What was his name? I think his name was Chad or something like that. But yeah, look at these men right here. Zoom up on that. The first Europeans, right? These are dark complected men that came out of Japheth's seed. All the tribes that the Akim just read, these are the men. Not no damn white people, man. I'm sorry to bust your bubble. But these are all artifacts that's been here and is coming out because now the scripture says that knowledge shall increase in these last days, man. And also it says that the casting, let me pull that out real quick. Isaiah. The covering cast that's covering the people's nationality and true identity. Hey, that's being removed, man. Those lies are being removed, man.
Yeah.
If you got anything on that,
Yeah, kind of. This, I think you can prove with the Bible, man. Easily who Esau is, man. Plain.
God.
Like the brother said, hey, he got what they know, man. Let's break it down, man. It's plain, man. We're gonna start with a First Maccabees 1, right? It says, and it happened after that, Alexander, the son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim. Hey, so Alexander the Great, he was known to be what? A Macedonian, right? So remember, Macedonian, you gotta remember these names or remember these words, Macedonian, right? So let's go to Esther, the book of Esther, chapter 16.
Bring that up.
Right? It says, for Ammon, a Macedonian, the son of Amadah, being indeed a stranger from the Persian blood. So when we go to Ammon or Haman, according to Esther, you can even go, let's get that in regular Esther, right? Let's get Esther chapter 3 and verse 2 and verse 1. It says, after these things, the king of Ahasuerus promoted Haman, the son of Hamadah, the Agag, right, and advanced him and set his seat above all the princes that were with him. So Haman is a Macedonian, right? Alexander the Freak or the Great, according to whoever, for us, he's a freak. He's a Macedonian. Haman was a Macedonian. His father His forefather is Agag, right? Who is Agag, right? This first Samuel chapter 15, verse 32.
Yeah.
It says, then said Samuel, bring ye hither to me Agag, the king of the Amalekites. Agag came unto the delicately, and Agag said, surely the bitterness of death is past. So Agag is the king of the Amalekites. Who's the Amalekites? Let's get that. Go to Genesis, right?
That's mighty, man. One thing, because he stirred my spirit up. In the book of Jasher, and we'll touch on this later because I need to find it. But in the book of Jasher, Esau's son Eliphaz got kicked out of Egypt after he was in Mount Seir. He got kicked out of Egypt, and he ran to Europe and took over the place. Now that's the history in the book of Jasher, that Esau's son went to Europe. He said Italy, used these different words, and went over there and resigned over there. Now it's kind of funny because, like, all right, hey, it might be a little truth to that specific historical fact, but who knows? You know what I'm saying? But it's just like you can't have, like I said, you can have truth and lies in all of them. I mean, in document. But if it's a little lies in it, it's not qualified. Well, you got it. Okay.
So, hey, like we said, we're gonna prove who Amalekite, who's there, who Amalek, right? This is Genesis 36, and verse 16. Korah. Well, I'm gonna start at 1, right? This is Genesis 36 and 1. Now, these are the generation of Esau, who is Edom. Right? So, this is a chapter, keeping the context. This is going to who, right? The generations of Esau or the Edomites, right? So, this is Genesis 36 and verse 12. And Tamar, who was the concubine of Eliphaz, Esau's son, she bare to Eliphaz and Amalek. These were the sons of Adar, Esau's wife. Lineage to lineage to lineage. If Alexander the Great, we know, black man, all through history, he's from Macedonia. Trace his lineage back down to Haman in the time of Esther, which is known as a Macedonian. That's related to Agag, which is Agag, the king of the Amalekites. Amalekites is Esau, is a descendant of Esau. It's very plain that he has to be an Edomite. He's an Edomite. It's plain. Amalek comes from who? Edom, which is Esau. It's plain. You could say all these different theories and different things. You got to prove it though, and we just did through the scriptures, line by line, period by period. At least got a web of DNA, man. You can't fight the DNA, man.
Right.
That's how we also prove to it as well. This simple.
Yeah, we close up though, because we're already 2 hours in. Yeah. So
moving.
Brother moving though. That's why I'm like, man, I might have to do a part 2 on this. Like I said. But yeah. But yeah.
God.
But got anything else on that?
Nah, that's about it.
All right, all praises. So yeah, we we're gonna close up the live through the spirit. We'll bring out our closing precepts, closing points. And again, we might have to dive a little bit. I might make a separate video because this was like more like an in-depth one. I'll make a separate one that just debunks the whole thing in like a couple minutes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just kind of going through it. You know what I mean? Just boom, 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 exposing it, man. Boom, boom, right here, right here, right here. You know what I mean? For the people that's impatient,
Right.
There people like they fell asleep on the lie, man. They're like, hey man, we know Jake, man. We know Jake. He like the sensationalism. He can't wake up when we pull up the images. Oh yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Like presets,
Pretty
and then you back to sleep. It's like you got it.
Kind of, they say, hey, some pretty pictures, man.
Right.
Kind of.
Yeah. So yeah, come on, brothers, bring out mighty points. But brothers got if they had any closing precepts.
This is Sirach chapter 16 and verse 24. It reads, "My son, hearken unto me and learn knowledge, and mark my words, with thy heart. I will show forth doctrine and wait and declare his knowledge." Exactly. Right. So that's what brothers are doing. And man, the knowledge, the most high, the son is gonna hearken to the real knowledge, understanding. Right. Like when you say, my sheep hear my voice, man. Right. It says, I will show forth doctrine and wait and declare declare his knowledge. Exactly. Like you said, we're not just sprinkling a little truth in it and what a lot like big gumbo of lies. Nah, if the weight is perfect, man. That means it's a just balance, right? It's exact weight. It says, verse 26 is the works of the Lord are done in judgment from the beginning, and from the time he made them, he disposed the parts thereof. So you can't change what the Most High already set in stone, set in play. You only gonna just look a fool at the end of the day, right? But I pray to the Most High.
This is Revelation chapter 12, starting at verse 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. Right. So, ultimately, hey, destroying all, false doctrines, man. You know what I'm saying? Through the spirit of Mashiach Yahushua, destroying all false doctrine through the spirit, man. All right. And that's that. What comes out of the serpent's mouth? Lies, hypocrisy. All right. Folly. He says that the serpent opened his mouth, opened his mouth, water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away. And we was all carried away with these different philosophies. We was all carried away with all manners of wickedness, man. All right, by the philosophies. But now he says, and the earth helped the woman. And this Bible, man, hey, on the spiritual level, man, this Bible is the earth that helped the woman, man. The truth is the earth that helped the woman. Who's the woman? Revelations chapter 12 and verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. That woman that Revelation 12 is talking about are the Israelites. Shalom.
That's right, man. That's right. All praise to the Most High, man. This is the book of 2 Corinthians. All right. Chapter 10, verse number 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations, and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringeth into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ, and having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled, man. All right. So again, we're not dealing with the book of Enoch. All right. We're not dealing with the book of Enoch, the book of Jasher, the book of Jubilees, man. All right. We're casting down imaginations. That's literally a book of imaginations. We just was on some damn LSD. You know what I mean?
The foil hat.
Yeah, the foil hat. You know, and they were just like, hey, they just let their imagination go, man. All right, that's what it is. So we casting down those imaginations, man. Right, and as the brother pulled, and he said he's still in this thing. Hey, all praises. And the brother pulled Ephesians 4:14, that we henceforth be no more children. Who reads Harry Potter books? Children.
That's right.
Who reads these type of books, man? These fantasy books. What is it? Percy Jackson, right? Percy. That's a damn child's book. All right.
That's why That's so like that's why we put that golem on the thumbnail, man.
Right. Lord of the Rings. All right. Lord of the Rings. It's tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait and deceive. So be careful of these brothers that kind of pull out the nasty books, right? And kind of go like this on it and open it up, kind of pull you to the side. Hey, brother, come on, why don't you just come read this book with me, right? Check out this book. Hey, man, you gotta be like, man. Hey. Look, if it's not Yahweh Shem Shah, hey, guess what? It's to the side. All right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, hey, all praises, man. But yeah, Khan, that Yahweh Shem Shah Barakathon to the 12. Hey, brother Yasha Allah.
Aria.
Khan, I'm not sure what happened to brother Cyrek, but you know, all praise to the Most High. Kwame Yasha Allah, the water for all that's been tuning in through the Spirit, and the water for the continual support. Yahweh Shem Barakathon. Shalom.